I will tell you something obvious. I'm non-binary from the core of my soul outward. It's just obvious. Even with no, I have a little lip gloss on, but even with no, like, accoutrement, even with no, what you might think of as gender expression, it's just obvious I'm a they. And it's the core of who I am as a human being. And I think that probably is what's most upsetting to bigoted people, is that it's so obvious that we are who we are and we deserve dignity.
What did you say? What the did you just say?
It's just obvious I'm a they.
What the are you talking about, man?
Now that's one common thread in a lot of Jeffrey's TikToks is the gaslighting. Jeffrey says that the most upsetting thing to bigoted people is he's a they. Well, first of all, there's only one of Jeffrey, so he's not a they. Secondly, the most upsetting thing to bigoted people is how he starts most of his TikToks out with, "Hey kids." Then he tells said kids to join his Patreon so they can have private conversations that their parents don't know about. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a quick and crazy clown world update for you guys today, and as usual, there is very little time to waste. So let's get into it now. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment, so this is Joanne. Now, Joanne is a biological man who identifies as a trans woman, calls himself a transbian, which most of us know by now is a trans lesbian. Now, Joanne frequents lesbian dating apps and ladies' restrooms. Huh?
That guy's got a serious weight problem. Go home. Start exercising.
And speaking of gaslighting, let's keep this party rolling with everybody's second favorite paid establishment shill, Chris. So in the last video, we heard from Chris's boyfriend, Harry. So let's see what establishment talking points Chris is going to parrot for us today. Roll it.
Joe Biden's accomplishments in 60 seconds. The American Rescue Plan was $1.9 trillion, and the reason Americans got $1,400 stimulus checks. This bill also initially cut child poverty in half. It is seen as being responsible for our economic recovery. Moving on, Joe Biden invested $1.2 trillion in revitalizing our infrastructure. This all goes to roads, bridges, more access to broadband internet, and was a much-needed investment in America. Joe Biden has invested more money than any president in U.S. history on climate change, with the goal to cut emissions in half in 2030 compared to 2005. He also rejoined the Paris Climate Accord. Joe Biden signed an executive order on gun control, strengthening background checks and promoting safe firearm storage. This was the first form of gun control in the United States in multiple decades. The CHIPS Act was another huge investment in America, focusing on manufacturing here at home, which has played a huge role in gaining jobs here in America for manufacturing. Now, with all this said, unemployment is at a 54-year low, GDP continues to surge, and we're seeing a very impressive economic recovery. And no, I didn't cover it all, but I think you get the idea. The guy's been impressive. If you want to hear more stuff like this, I have a podcast with Harry Sisson, who's another creator on this app. Our podcast is called Chris and Harry Unplugged. We have some cool stuff you could check out. The link's in my bio. I'd appreciate it a lot. Be safe.
You are a fucking moron.
Did he just say the name of their podcast is Chris and Harry Butt Plugged? Ugh, that's weird. Anyway, next up, so let's stick with that theme of gaslighting. Now, this is Rob Reiner. I'm sure most of you know who Rob Reiner is. He played Meathead in the TV show All in the Family years ago. He's directed some fantastic movies. However, in his elder years, Rob Reiner has come down with a severe case of TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome. So people like Chris and Henry, they gaslight as to how good Joe Biden is. People like Rob Reiner, they gaslight as to how bad Donald Trump is. Roll it.
Mr. Reiner, why do you think more celebrities are scared to talk about Donald Trump? Like you've been the only one that's really.
Why. You gotta lead from the top, you know.
Well,
having a high profile.
We have
and stuff.
He has the what?
It's a scary time right
Yeah.
now. And if he gets in, that'll be the end of,
2024 is way too
it's
close.
the end of democracy, and people have to understand that.
Yeah.
That'll be the end of American democracy.
Do you think more celebrities will start speaking out as it gets closer?
I do think so. I do think so.
Think-
I hope Taylor Swift comes out.
What the hell did you just say?
It's the end of democracy, and people have to understand that.
Yeah.
That'll be the end of American democracy.
Do you think?
That'll be the end of American democracy.
You are one dumb son of a bitch.
So there you have it. The one and only Meathead says that if Trump is elected for a second term, that is the end of American democracy. And did you hear at the end there where he said he hopes Taylor Swift joins him on his crusade against the big bad evil orange man? Anyway, next up, so we've seen this disturbing trend on social media lately where these young people are getting freckles tattooed on their faces permanently. Well, this young lady decides to get freckles tattooed on her face permanently. However, she does it in rainbow colors. Huh? Roll it.
Amy, this is her skin before we did anything at all to it. As you can see, she does have a lot of natural freckles already, so these rainbow ones just provide a stunning pop of color over the top. For today's color palette, we went with 2 different shades of pink, a dark purple, a yellow, an orange, a teal, and a baby blue. Amy brought in reference photos both of the colors that she wanted and the placement that she wanted, which is absolutely amazing. It definitely sets both of our expectations equally.
What the f is wrong with you?
All right, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen now. I know. I showed this clip of this bearded fella wearing a wedding dress dancing around like a lunatic in a previous video not too long ago. However, I wanted to have something with a wedding dress. That'll make sense in just a second. And this is the best I could do. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by, now, this is very important. Oh, I'm so nervous. My heart is pounding. My palms are all sweaty. I feel so flushed. I can feel my cheeks getting bright red. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Lindsay Wiley, will you marry me? Oh, shit. I probably should have worded that a little differently since I don't know Lindsay. I've never met her and I'm actually married. So let me try that again. Lindsay from James. Will you marry me? All right, all jokes aside, today's video sponsor is James Snow, who wanted to ask his girlfriend, Lindsay Wiley, if she would marry him. So, James, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume she said yes. So, congratulations, you guys. Definitely send me an email and let me know how it went. But like I said, I'll assume she said yes. So, today's video sponsors, James Snow and Lindsay Wiley, congratulations. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring today's video, and thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate all the kind words and support. So James Snow and Lindsay Wiley, congratulations and thank you for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, get this off the screen. You're going to ruin wedding dresses for Lindsay. Ugh.
Okay, that's not creepy.
All right, next up. So these two very lovely individuals make the claim that white people treat their dogs better than they treat black people. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. I treat my French Bulldog Goose better than I treat any people, black, white, or otherwise. Roll it.
Me and Joshua were talking about...
White people treat their dogs better than they treat their friends. Can identify 45 dog breeds, but don't know that their neighbor is Persian and not Armenian.
Precisely. They really just were treating black people worse than dog, okay? They get their dog sweaters and shoes. White people just have a problem. They have an obsession domesticating things.
It's like this. Only totalitarian control white people in America have had historically is over people of color and pets. So during the 60s, during the civil rights era, when we displaced their totalitarian control over black and brown bodies, they instantly replaced it
with pets.
With an increase of totalitarian control over their pets.
They had to. Tell me why. There's a study, an anthropological study of pet cemeteries, where this anthropologist, he went to pet cemeteries in the 60s and said, around the 60s and 70s, that is when pet names started to have human names.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Hey, where are the white women at?
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of this lovely young lady talking about how she passed gas in front of her boyfriend. It's slightly bizarre, fairly disgusting, and kind of long. It's a 2-minute and 20-second long clip. But as far as entertainment value goes, it's definitely worth the watch. Anyway, things are clearly getting crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
So I knew this guy who farted as a joke. He'd be like, wait. And then everyone would laugh and be like, ha, that's so funny. Because farts are funny. And I thought it was funny. And I was like, oh my gosh, I fart all the time. I'm going to fart for him. So some time passes. I'm feeling a fart brewing. I'm like, this is my moment. I go, wait, do you guys hear that? And then he's like, what was that? Oh my God. And I was like, I just farted. What do you mean what was that? I farted. And he's like, are you sure you didn't shit your pants? Oh my God. You might want to check. I think you shit your pants. I'm like, I did not shit my pants. Why would I shit my pants? Like, that's disgusting. No, I just farted. And then he's like, oh my God. That smells awful. I'm like, yeah, it's a fart. It's not going to smell like roses, buddy. Okay? What did you expect? Like, I'm sorry, my farts aren't dainty little, cute little farts like yours. Cute little, like, ooh, I farted. Like, what? And here's my theory. Now, I did ask him, why is it funny when you fart and why is it not funny when I fart? And he said, well, because your farts sound wet and they smell bad. Okay, I understand that. But here's why I think when a woman farts, it's different than a man. Because a man, he just shoots it out and it just goes out. Whereas a woman, sometimes our farts travel north, right? They go up. And so when I fart, it reverberates off the walls. There's much more geography that my fart must travel through. It's traveling through rain, sleet, snow, rivers, mountains, valleys, forests, right? Like, it travels through all that and it bounces off the walls and, through mud and stuff. And that's why the sound is so wet and different, is because your girl is wet. Your girl is juicy, right? I have the meat, as Arby's would say. So, that's why it sounds the way it does. And I think it's funny.
Yeah, that's not funny.
That's f***ing disgusting.
And you ain't black.